At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
Okay, here we go. Good morning. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome. Trying to get everything set up here. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you being here. Do me a favor. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. I know we just went live. We were just live, it feels like 2 hours ago. Feels that way. I was up till about 12:30 or so doing notes, getting ready for this show. It is loaded. There's a lot to talk about. Do me a favor, though. Again, like. Slap the hell out of the like button. Share the content. Subscribe. All that good stuff, okay? You guys know I appreciate it. I've got like 2 or 3 surprises for you guys today. I was going to wait till Friday to show, but I was like, I can't do that. I can't just hold it in like that. I can't just hold it in. I gotta show you. So I got some really cool stuff. Yeah. Okay. First off, shout out to Patreon supporters. We are killing it with Patreon this time around. The month of November, we've added several new Patreon supporters. We're closing in on 30. I think we're at 23, 24. That's awesome. That really is something. Kate Dreyer, she is a frequent commenter here. She's super supportive, and look, I catch it from both sides. I get people who absolutely hate my guts to the people who really like and enjoy all my content. And she's not alone. We've got some OGs in this building, and Kate's been around for a while. She joined our Discord. She became a Patreon member yesterday. We have some OGs, John Hawes, Kelly Marie, Witt, Eagle. I'm trying to think. We got a lot of you guys. I'm sorry if I'm leaving people out. I do apologize for that, but you guys have been awesome. And I really do. I want to say I really appreciate it. As someone who does this, I try not to pay attention to the numbers and to the viewers and all that and the total views. It's hard not to when you're closing in on 700,000 total views on this channel, when we've got Patreon supporters, when we have sponsors, when we have live chat people and super chat. By the way, it is up and active. I know we don't have the little logo here, but the super chat is up and running. I haven't put it. Someone DM'd me the other day and was like, "Bro, I wanted to donate, but I wasn't sure if you were donating or not because I didn't see the live chat logo there." I was like, "Well, no, but you should still have the option. It should still be there." But I don't care about that. I'm just happy that you're here. I'm happy that you guys are here. So I do want to. I appreciate the support. I really do. And I've had a lot of you guys just, you're either hitting me up in the DMs or Discord. You guys are really supportive. Really do appreciate that. Speaking of sponsors, you guys know how it be. Gotta throw some love to the sponsors. Of course, Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, operate out of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. I think just about anywhere in the state of Arkansas where there's a garage door present, Travis Ford and Direct Service Overhead, they got you. They got you covered. They will repair or replace your door. If you know a contractor, maybe you got a neighbor, maybe you yourself, you need an estimate, you need to talk to someone about your garage door, give these guys a holler. You can check out their everything they have to offer, get an idea of what they do on their website that is provided for you, or the link is provided for you down below in the description box. And of course, State Apparel never fails. Never fails. Never fails. Stated Apparel. They have a unique shirt just for you from State Pride. Funny, sassy, sarcastic, and pop culture. Our shirts are hand-printed on premium material that will leave you feeling and looking great. Our store offers something for everyone. Again, these are all made right here in the beautiful state of Arkansas. So, yeah, shout out to those guys. All those links are provided for you down below in the description box. And in our Discord as well. Yeah, shout out to Discord people, too. I got to disagree, though. Turkey saying that there's nothing wrong with the forward-facing hog. Bro, that's where we're just not going to agree. Not going to agree. Forward-facing hog is flaming hot garbage. I don't like it. Okay, last night, we knew that, okay, something was going on with Arkansas with these guys on the floor since leaving Bud Walton. Found out last night they're actually playing with a cold. No one, like, that's news to me. It's news, I think, to everyone. Musselman talked about it after the game. Really unfortunate for them, for the players, but at the same time, wow. I think they beat at least one really good team in Cincy. I would like to have seen how they matched up against Illinois, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest, I'd like to just see that matchup for Arkansas. But the fact that they played with a cold, it makes sense. Like, when you watch last night, and it's not like they were slow, they just didn't look themselves entirely, a couple of guys, but for the most part they still played their kind of ball, tough, gritty. What a win. You're KC champs. You got it done in KC, and so much more exposure. Not like you didn't have it to begin with, right? You're a ranked team. Musselman's your head coach. That guy garners all kind of attention on the social medias, on the Twitters. So before we get too far into basketball, let's get caught up on some other stuff really quick. I don't know if we talked about this on Monday or not, but Dalton Wagner, right tackle, will be coming back. Now, regardless of what you think of Dalton Wagner, I know he's garnered a little bit of negative attention. He got beat a few times since he's been back. He's struggled a little bit, but he's played a ton of snaps since being here. I don't know the total the count, but it's a lot. And I saw where Pro Football Focus, they had him at his overall grade being at like 67.5, which isn't great. I think I don't know where that's at in his career. There might be a career high, but his pass blocking is north of 70. It's like 71 or something, which is, I think that's top. It's got to be top 2, top 3 on the offensive line. So you're going to get Dalton Wagner back. That is massive. In my opinion, when you're talking about depth and And having someone with that much experience under his belt kind of makes you wonder what some of these other guys think. You know, we've talked a little bit about some of the twos and how they struggled, especially, well, I mean, when they had their opportunities, when they came out in the second half against UAPB and were just not good. Definitely gives you a little bit of pause for concern. So especially after that performance, it's nice that you're going to have someone as experienced as Dalton Wagner back. I wish Cunningham had another year. I know he's not like an elite top 3 round left tackle, but he's also someone who provides a lot of experience and has mostly been pretty damn solid at the left tackle spot. I don't know his grade, but that was actually, someone had actually screenshotted some of his Pro Football Focus numbers. So yeah, that's big. That's big to get him back. All right. Man, I had to go to sleep. I did wake up about 3 a.m. to check the score. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm putting in overtime this week. Holy crap. And we still got tomorrow, of course. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, right? And then I've still got, we're going to do 2 more shows on Friday. I was thinking about it coming into the week, like, I think it's going to be a busy week, but maybe there's going to be a little bit of time in between somewhere. Nope, there's not. There's definitely not. Just one day off, which is going to be Turkey Day. But I love it. I love being here. I love being in front of you guys and talking about the Hogs, even if some of you absolutely hate me. Oh, no, what am I going to do? It's okay, though. It's all right. I would say the like to dislike ratio is, it's just night and day. And I do appreciate you guys. Remember, share the content, subscribe if you haven't already. But so Friday, we will do the 11 a.m. I had thought about coming into this week not doing, basically making the Wednesday show Friday, giving you my picks, breaking down the game. But that tournament, the KC tournament, was just so huge. Like what that did for Arkansas was gigantic. To get tested like that early, and then to find out now, of course, we didn't know this coming into the week, but with those guys playing with a cold, and it just means that much more. I mean, how incredible was that? So Turkey Day, and then Friday we're gonna go live before the show for the 11 a.m. and then of course we'll do the post game show. So yeah. What's up, Ty? Your show helps me get through my work day. Work sucks on Tuesdays and Thursdays because I don't have Razorback content. I'm sorry, man. But I do appreciate the compliment, Eli. Turkey's young. He doesn't know better. He says he's younger. I don't know that I buy it all the time. We beat Cincy by 5. Cincy beat Illinois by 20. We would beat Illinois by 25. I guess so, Joe. I guess that would be the outcome. Never mind the actual matchups, Joe, which is what I'm talking about. I wish I could be active with a cold, much less win a tournament. I'm telling you, that explains a lot. It really does, man. I gripe and moan when I have a headache trying to do the laundry. I can't imagine trying to play an entire tournament with a cold. Can't believe I'm going to have to wait till the OU game for another good matchup. Yeah, OU right now 1 loss, and they are favored. That's the only non-conference game so far, and I have not looked. I really don't take the Basketball Power Index seriously. Really, again, you can't take anything you see or read seriously until you get halfway through your conference season, right? Or at least until you get 7 or 8 games under your belt into conference play. I felt like Arkansas, you saw that with the Hogs. You look at that team at the end of the year, that team was good enough, should have played in the Final Four. That team was good enough, should have won. That team probably wins the SEC over Bama. But then again, Nate Oates and Bama, it's just a really good matchup for them, so maybe not. But that team doesn't lose some of the games that they lost earlier in the year. I think that team, especially that March team, doesn't get knocked out of the SEC tournament. That team was great. That team at the end of the year in March, during March, was phenomenal. So right now, the fact that the Hogs are playing like they are, and I realized too last year at the beginning of the season they were damn good. Like we felt like we knew the rotation, and even that rotation switched. Connor's playing time changed. Jalen Williams got more and more involved. JD Notte was kind of off and on. You had some inconsistency with him, and he had some injuries, if I remember right. Justin Smith and Jalen Williams were a little banged up, but when they got healthy and they figured out their rotation, and I don't know, they just started playing really great team ball, and it's like they were unstoppable. So, yeah. So that is your only BPI loss, non-conference loss, according to ESPN. Wagner needs another offseason, in my opinion. You kind of feel like at this point he might be at his ceiling. I don't know how much better he really gets. Maybe he does. Everybody could use another. You guys know how I feel about that. You know, Treylon Burks is probably the only exception to the rule, but most of the time I'm going to say, yeah, come back, get better. Burks doesn't need to come back. I think and what's crazy is I think if he did come back, obviously he's already going to go down as one of the greatest wideouts of all time at Arkansas, probably the greatest, definitely the greatest in the modern era, which is saying that's a mouthful considering Jarius Wright, Joe Adams, Greg Childs, Kobe Hamilton, Morgan, Keon Hatcher was pretty solid. I'm trying to think. I know I'm forgetting someone. Marcus Monk. Of course, that was the Houston Nutt era, but still, Monk was a pretty damn solid wide receiver, especially with that size. Experience is always good, says Cadet Hill. I agree. He will go to draft. He will go to draft most likely next season if he cleans up his discipline issues. Maybe. I don't know if maybe his ceiling is getting drafted. I don't know. He doesn't blow you away, right? And you're right with his mistakes. He makes a lot of those. He does. He's got to get some of that stuff figured out. Tony Brown says, wondering for next year how our cornerbacks are going to do. Are we getting better on our safeties and comebacks over the offseason, whether it be through transfer portal or just young players? Again, we talked about Bobby Bones offering that former 5-star LSU corner an NIL deal. I don't have an update on that right now. I don't know. We'll see if there's anything by Friday. If there is, I'll let you guys know. People say to win the SEC, you have to have a good O-line and D-line. Yeah, right. Line of scrimmage play. LOS is very important in the SEC. Not that it's not important in all aspects of football, high school, college, pro, but especially in the SEC. I know we're getting KJ back, but what should I be expecting from O-line and D-line next year? Or O and D next year? Are you asking from the line of scrimmage? From that standpoint? You got Jalen St. John, who – where was he from? He's from St. Louis. He was the one that was formerly committed to Mizzou, if I remember right. We talked about this. Kelly and Marie and I were talking about this in Discord not long ago. But he was considered a pretty good swap, pretty good flip. Again, you're going to have Wagner back. You've got Crawford. We still don't know what's going on with Ricky Stromberg. Ricky Stromberg, clearly your best offensive lineman, despite the fact I thought he did not play a very good game against Bama. Maybe he just had 2 or 3 mistakes that were really obvious. Of course, the miscommunication on the snap in the first half, I think it was, against Bama. And he kind of got beat a couple of times, but it's Bama, and it's kind of understandable. Most of the year, he has been outstanding, and I've seen in some mock drafts he's in the first round. We saw that 2-3 weeks ago. They had him in the top in the first round. And then I think, was it Todd McShay or I don't remember who, but they didn't even have him in and Mel Kiper maybe didn't even have him in the top 10 interior offensive line position. And that means you're definitely going to be out of the first round if that's not the case. You're looking at probably mid-second round, late second round, maybe early third round at that point, depending on the wants and needs of teams in the NFL. So there's a lot of questions about what's going on up front. I think obviously you're going to bring some guys back. I like Jalen St. John. He's probably going to be next up, I would imagine, at left tackle, even though they moved him inside. Maybe he plays inside. I don't know. Same with Crawford. They moved him from right tackle to right guard. They moved Clary out to back up Wagner when Wagner went down. So I don't know really what to expect next year on the offensive line. Defensive line, they're going to have to go out and they're going to have to hit the portal. I feel pretty strongly at linebacker and defensive line still are the 2 biggest positions you're going to have to hit in the portal. I don't think there's any doubt about that. A lot of work to do. again, Bumper Pool comes back. You're not as worried about the transfer portal, and it really helps you out in a lot of different areas if you get him back. Mo Brown is eligible to come back at the CB1 spot. So, yeah, and something else we have to keep in mind, this secondary has been really banged up. Mo Brown was playing banged up. Ladarius Bishop playing banged up. Hudson Clark didn't even play last weekend because he was hurt. Say what you want about him, it's still depth, whether you like him or not. And I think he has had some really great moments, more than just a single game. He's had some great moments in his career. I don't trust him on every down situations, though, especially in man coverage. Seems like I heard Pittman or someone say Stromberg was coming back. Did y'all hear? I haven't heard that. Keep in mind, I don't. I try to keep up with as much with Sam Pittman and what he says to the media. Sometimes I miss stuff. I don't know that he did mention he felt like Catalan was coming back, but then when you start reading Catalan's Twitter feed, it's like I don't feel as confident there. If that's the case, I couldn't imagine if you got Catalan, Bumper Pool back, if you got Ridgeway back. Ridgeway's transformation this year has been incredible. I mean, it really has. He's just gotten better week to week to week. I've said all along, I love how well that guy moves for someone that size. He's got raw strength. I don't know about him. I couldn't tell you about his technical ability, right? His ability to use his hands. I mean, it looks to me like he just has raw strength. So, but with that size, that kid moves really well. Has a high motor on plays, right? But then it seems like he gets a little worn out. We've seen him several times this year, several games where he just kind of, he's got to rotate out quite a bit. We've seen Nichols sub in, which is to be expected, right? That's the whole point with running a three-man front. It's easier to rotate one big guy as opposed to two or three big guys, and that nose tackle spot's got to anchor down. I think I dreamed that Stromberg was coming back. It's a great dream. It really is. I just don't know. Is that Centennial kid supposed to fill Traylon's role, or maybe already solidified wide receiver supposed to do that like Tyson Morris? Well, Tyson Morris, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he has another year. I was wrong about Mo Brown. And I was wrong earlier this year about Ridgeway. I thought they both were ineligible to come back. I don't know. Let's just assume Tyson Morris doesn't come back. Warren Thompson is a guy who has had great moments this year, but he often disappears, right? Warren Thompson can be he could be as quickly as he is effective as he is just disappearing, right? Ketron Jackson's another guy, and we have not seen a lot of him, especially after his holding call against God. Who was that? Now was that Texas? He got hit with the holding call downfield. I know that was a great deal of debate here, but he's caught a couple touchdowns since then, but one of them got called back because you had an illegal man downfield. I think that was Stromberg, or maybe it was Bo Lemmer. I don't remember. So Centennial's not going to be asked to come in. First off, he's not going to be here for the spring. We also have that list. I have someone sent me the list of who's supposed to be here this year or who's going to sign early. There's a difference, obviously. Not sign early, sorry. Early enrollees, people who are going to be here during the spring. Like I said, I feel about 90% so far these guys are going to sign in December here in just, 3 or so weeks. But you have an early enrollee list. I've got that sent to me. I feel like it's pretty accurate considering who sent it to me. So we have that. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But he's not going to be here, and I think that's because of track. Now, I want to make this perfectly clear. My dad and I disagree on this. Good old Arky 56. God love him. Okay? My dad just kind of feels the opposite on this. Just says, let him do his thing. He's a track guy. That's fine. I get it. Track is life. I understand that for these kids. But I would argue, do you think, who got the better end of the deal? Who has made more of an impact this year? Consider the talent level similar between A.J. Green and Raheem Sanders. Sanders isn't as fast. He's a strong runner, But he's not as fast as A.J. Green. A.J. Green's got that track speed. Pretty powerful, too. If you guys watched him against Bama on his 2 carries, that kid is powerful. So tell me who you think's obviously had a bigger impact. Now look back at the 2 and who were here during the spring. And we've seen that several times over the course of the last several years. Where guys who come in during the spring get that opportunity. They're getting reps. They're getting used to the idea of being on campus, getting used to the idea of being away from their home, getting used to the idea of what it's like to put the pads on with that Razorback helmet on, baby, and be around those guys, be around the coaching staff, run plays, understand the playbook, and then you have the other guy at home running track. Nothing against track. All right, he loves the sport, just like Isaiah Centennia, clearly, and I understand it. That's a family thing for Isaiah Centennia. I respect that. Myself, if it were me, I'm going to ask myself if I had that talent level, which I don't. I'm a 5-star, Taco Bell grilled stuffed burrito eater. That's where I'm a highly rated person of value or whatever. Centennia is I love Centennia, man, and especially after getting to watch him. I love this kid, and I want him to be happy. I want him to go do whatever makes him happy. But if you're telling me, look, here's your future. Here's where you're probably going to make money, and here's the other one where you're just going to be really good at the sport. By the way, Arkansas, we all know, is the mecca, and it's also understandable too. I think he does. I can't verify this, but I think he does want to run track here. I get it, but as far as the future of Razorback football, you're going to be behind. Quincy McAdoo's expected to enroll early, so I'm just saying. That's a spot. There is no number 1 returning receiver next year. There's not. Nobody solidified the 2 spot, which is generally how that works. The 2-spot receiver, then the next year is expected to be the next guy up. It looks to me like open territory. Centennia, McAdoo, those 2 guys definitely are someone who could come in and maybe have an impact, especially if they're here during the spring and they get an opportunity to take part in drills and take part in spring camp and everything. That is a huge advantage. McAdoo's going to be here. Now, Centennia, talented enough, I don't know. I mean, he's right down the road in Fayetteville. I'm sure he and Kendall Briles or whoever the OC is, and his receiver coach, they're going to be in constant communication. I'm sure he's going to have the playbook, but there's just a difference in doing it on the field and doing it with the guys around you, participating with guys like, KJ Jefferson, Malik Hornsby, running that offense versus sitting at home and watching videos and looking at a playbook. That's all I'm saying. I want him to be happy, do whatever makes him happy, but I do think when he comes in when he reports for fall camp, he is probably going to be a little bit behind some of the guys that were here during spring camp. Just my opinion. JMO, that's all I'm saying. But Centennia is expected. He's probably – the expectations are he and McAdoo probably going to be asked to come in and at least find a way to get into that rotation. I don't know that you don't have a Treylon Burks, I don't think, in this receiving core. And that's not a diss on these guys. Treylon Burks is a special kind of rare talent. You don't have very many Treylon Burkses anywhere in the country. Now, according to some of these draft professionals, there's like 5 receivers better than Burks, and maybe that's the case. But he is a rare animal. I think very similar in the way of like what Matt Jones was at Arkansas. I think he's very much similar to that kind of freak of nature, to that level of FON. So nobody is expected to come in and take over that role. Now, to be the next leading guy, if you had to ask me right now, who would you feel most comfortable with? Yeah, if Tyson Morris came back, it'd probably be Tyson Morris, Warren Thompson, maybe Ketron Jackson, because he did find his way onto the field this year, was a contributor, even though he didn't have the ball thrown to him a lot. Found his way onto the field. He found his way into the 2-deep rotation. And I think he's, like I said, when he committed and signed with the Razorbacks, I think he was a highly rated 4-star. This is a kid that came out of Texas that Texas wanted badly, and they beat out Sarkisian. Say what you want about where he's at now, right? But coming into the year, this is Sarkisian. This is the guy that's been around, USC, offensive coordinator for Bama, done special things. Arkansas beat them out to get someone like that, and that should tell you everything you need to know about Katron Jackson. This is a kid who I think has a really high ceiling. It's just a matter of getting there, and they don't always get there. We've seen that time and time again, not only at Arkansas but across college football. But I would argue that they are, and I think that's why they're recruiting so well at wide receiver right now. You don't have a clear number 2 guy this year. I don't think they have a clear number 1. I know we're going to get hyped up through the offseason. We're going to see these Warren Thompson highlight videos and Katron Jackson highlight videos pushed out by the U of A, but that only tells you so much. I mean, they did the same thing with Trey Knox coming out of his freshman year. We saw all these beautiful, great catches and wonderful routes, and then he vanished, right? So that you got to take that with a grain of salt. It's wonderful. It's great hype material. But the real question is, who's your number 1 next year? Who's your number 2? And who's your 3 guy? Who's lining up in the slot? Centennia can line up anywhere, but he would be freaking amazing at the slot, and I think that's what they plan on doing with him next year. But that tells you the nature, how big of a freak of nature Treylon Burks is. Burks can line up literally anywhere and be effective. He's just as effective outside as he is at the slot. I also think we see Sanders move back to receiver in the spring. I don't know. If they moved anybody at this point, I think it would be A.J. Green, only because Raheem Sanders has been effective at running back. But he can catch the ball, but he's got great hands. Yeah, Crawford pretty much fell off too. I keep forgetting about him. I mean, he had a pretty solid spring camp, did well in the red-white scrimmage. Same with JDW, John David White. I was saying this kid's going to make the field. He's never even been on the damn field. Like, there's only so much you could take. This is where I tell you guys, there's only so much you could take out of a spring camp, out of a red-white scrimmage. We need someone who can consistently catch the ball. Yeah, that's not been Warren Thompson this year. Maybe Warren Thompson comes back. Well, yeah, he's got his senior year. Yeah, he technically, I think he has 2 more years of eligibility. I could be wrong. I think the holding call was on Katron. It was on Katron, if I'm thinking of the same game. Let's see. If Odom leaves, who's your list to replace him? I'm not there yet. I'll get back to you. Ask me again after maybe after conference championship week. Ask me then. Nobody can fill Burks' shoes. Exactly. Going to have to be a collective effort. Burks is a special talent, that's been the case behind him. It's been receiver by committee at the 2 spot. I also think – I already read that. Blah, 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 blah. A.J. Green scares me a lot more. He does put the ball on the field. He does. He doesn't drop – he did drop a kick return, but he doesn't drop passes. No, I don't know how many times he's been thrown to this year, how many times he's been targeted. But he does have a tendency to put the ball on the field. But I think, again, that speaks to not being here in the spring. They really went over ball control in spring, and they do it every week. If you ever watch them, they'll do this thing where they'll have their backs hold on to the ball, and I don't know if it's Kenny Guyton or who, but someone will come up and punch the ball like they're boxing it. But they apparently take that extremely serious, and they did so starting back in the spring. Getting on the field, college early, overrunning high school track. Exactly. I mean, I hate to be – I'm not trying to shit on anyone's dreams. I promise I'm not. I get it. I knew track – Fayetteville had some really good – they had really good track, right? Ramey Junior High really had some great track at that level. And those guys eat, breathe, and sleep that stuff. And Arkansas is clearly the mecca between them and Oregon and several others, but Arkansas is the mecca of track. I get it. Maybe that's another reason why these guys do this. But your future, I feel like, for him, and I could be wrong. Hell, he might be an Olympic runner. I don't know. I don't know track. I don't know it. He could be the next great thing for Arkansas track, and that's phenomenal. But I feel like his future's better, or his opportunity to make some money is better. And also ask yourself this, and I don't know that he needs the money. I don't think that he does, but ask yourself this. Where's the NIL deal going to be the hottest? That's something else these 16, 17-year-old kids got to start to understand. What's the market value for a highly rated number 1 player in the state of Arkansas, 4-star wide receiver, could possibly get a bump by the end of the year, not to a 5, but a higher level 4. What's the NIL deal look like for that? And he's pretty active on social media. You got to consider that. He puts himself out there. What's the NIL look like? Then ask yourself if you want to be here during the spring. Look, when I was 15, 16, I applied for jobs the day I turned 16. Arky56, if he were in chat, he would tell you. He drove me to IGA when it was still open on 6th Street, on the old 6th Street, Walmart, every fast food joint up and down 6th Street, which is now, again, MLK, and Taco Bell. Mark Grant at Taco Bell gave me my opportunity to flip some tacos at Taco Bell, where I sadly remained for entirely too long. I understood the value of the dollar. And, of course, you get your ride. You got to pay for insurance on your 1995 badass Nissan Sentra with your customized gold and black license plate that has your name on it with the corn sticker on the back window and the Slipknot sticker and the Razorback logo, whatever. I understood the value in having a job and the value of what I meant to, using my services at Taco Bell. I asked for a raise continuously. I was always in Mark Grant's ear about getting a raise. Instead, he had me washing them damn dishes all the time. Yeah, I don't mean literally filling Traylon's shoes, but I mean KJ's number one option. Yeah, I got you, Tony. I got you, buddy. Derek Madden says KFC Taco Bell was my first job. Never forget. Told you guys I could tell you stories. Certain Razorback football players getting into fights in our lobby, passing out in our drive-thru. This was 1999, 2000. It was incredible. The stories I could tell. Seeing a guy get blindsided, punched, watching his jaw look like it comes unhinged, and then he hits his head on the rail. Oh, my God. It's crazy. Joe with the super chat. Here we go. I think the Bryles hate comes from play calls like quarterback draw, third and fifth. Right. No one's questioning that. No Odom hate because he doesn't have the dogs to compete with Bama's offense. Right. But, Joe, this has been continuous just like last year since the halfway point. That's the argument, right? Kendall Bryles, on the other hand, I mean, yeah, he's got the weapons, but he's also dealing with SEC-level defenses week in and week out. I get what you're saying, but we haven't seen the offense take a step back when you consider the body of work, when you consider their opponents. I hear you. I just think some of the hate I get, and I agree with some of it. He's not above criticism. The third and long draws just make you pull your hair out. Laugh out loud. I only know about John David White because of that podcast. He's on a podcast. He has on Huddle. I didn't know that. John David White has a podcast. I want to listen to that. Give me a link, Tony. Are you in our Discord? You're not in our Discord. Oh, Michael. See, now you're just trolling to troll, and I don't like blocking people, but. And I've never banned anyone from YouTube, but when you come in and just say stupid shit and back out, like that's ridiculous. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you blocked out of here. What do clowns often do? They come in, they say stupid shit, and then they back out because they're cowards. We never have the dogs to beat Bama like 15 years now. Based on needs from last year and this year, defense should begin making a turn in recruiting right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, very rarely does your incoming recruiting class solve any of your problems. Very rarely. The example this year is special teams, right? Without a doubt. Special teams with Cam Little coming in, huge impact, but very rarely does that happen. So, I don't know. Again, you're going to have to go to the transfer portal. Oh, Michael. Enjoy some time out, man. Oh, no. He was putting time out. We had to spank his bottom. Ty, do you see leaving? Who do you see leaving for the portal? I do think you lose another running back. Probably a DB. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't read these kids' minds, but it wouldn't surprise me if you lose another running back. Maybe a younger receiver who hasn't really had the opportunity. You kind of wonder about when kids transfer like they do, it's not uncommon if they have more years of eligibility that they transfer again. Mike Woods is a good example of that. Woods, I guess, is transferring from Oklahoma. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. I don't know what that was. He had a goodbye tweet or whatever about Oklahoma. He has it on Hit That Line podcast. I did not know that. He's with a guy named Ty. Probably Ty Richardson. I did not know that. I'm going to have to check that out. Yeah, John David White has this. Yeah, with Ty. Thank you for spelling the right Ty, by the way. T-Y-E. All right. Let's go over the early enrollees here really quick. I have this list that was forwarded to me. It's pretty intense. I mean, it's like a lot of players. I think this would be the most early enrollees they've had, I think. So I'll start here. Anthony Brown, safety out of Tennessee. Jalen Lewis, cornerback out of Tennessee. Caden Henley out of Shiloh Christian here in Springdale. Jordan Crook and Manny Powell both expected. Jordan Crook, of course, out of Duncanville. Manny Powell out of who transferred to Fayetteville. Saw him at Fayetteville with crutches. They have him listed like 6'3". Wouldn't shock me if that dude was like 6'4". He looks like he's ready to go play ball now. I really hope he's full go for spring. Hollingsworth out of Greenland. Like all the offensive linemen are expected to be here. Quincy McAdoo, like I mentioned. Miles Rouser, big time 4-star safety out of Michigan. Max Fletcher, the punter, and James Joyner and Tyrus Washington, the tight end. There's still several other players we don't know about yet. Centennia is the only one that I know of, or at least last I heard, and this honestly, I'd heard this on Monday. I've only heard it from one individual who I do trust, but he says he's not coming. So, but you know how this goes. Maybe someone will be in his ear and be like, look, dude, you really need to be there for spring football. We know you love track, but maybe get caught up with track after your freshman year or something. I don't know if you plan on running track at the U of A. And I don't have that confirmed. I don't know if he does that or not, but it wouldn't shock me if he did, given his history with the sport and his dad, his mom and dad as well. But right now, Centennia is not expected to come in during spring. But and I don't think I left anybody off. Yeah, all the offensive linemen, I believe, or at least, let's see, Eli Henderson, Amarian Harris, Andrew Chamblay. So 3 of your 4 offensive linemen are expected to sign early and to enroll early. Obviously, you can't enroll without signing early. Yeah. Can't lie, I thought Cincy would win after. Oh, I'm telling you. Definitely losing a receiver or 2. I think so. Mizzou is at least what? My favorite team now, but when Oklahoma joins the SEC, they might take the case. Oh, you mean like who you hate the most? If you're a Hog fan over 35, your nemesis and most hated foe will always be Texas. Not for me. I'm 38, and I think I hate LSU more or Mizzou more. And I'm not saying Mizzou's a rivalry, but and I don't even know that I really hate Mizzou that much. It's just this stupid losing streak you have to the Tigers. We definitely need to go to the portal, but that's just me. Get some more Ridgeway players and maybe big time linebackers. You kind of wonder if they don't look at some corners, if they don't take a look at a couple, at least adding a couple more DBs. So yeah. Yeah, I just don't have the hatred of Texas anymore. You know, I know when I was a kid growing up around here, burnt orange was considered a sin. It was considered a sin. All right, before we get on to basketball, I have a couple surprises for you. Number one, got some kick-ass stickers. You can't really see them. They're on the back of my car. I should have brought you a picture of that, but that's the sticker. Can't see it very well, can you? How's that? Okay. I only had a handful of these made. They're on my car. They're on my wife's car. Just kind of experimenting with some different looks. I'm not sure how long I'll keep them there. The other being the shirt. Got a shirt made. Look at that. Check that out. Can I show you the back here? All right. Here's a pig trail, right? Again, just some. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got a shirt made. Figured why the hell not. Only cost me like $12. And then the biggest surprise, which is pretty cool. This is actually I've been wanting to get these since I heard about Ken Hamlin's cigars, and I think it was Kelly Marie who pointed this out. You guys know I like cigars. I can't smoke them in the house anymore. We have a small house, all right? Like, I get it. Thin walls. You know, I smoke in the garage, and you can still smell the cigar smoke in the backyard. Like, you know, that's how small our house is. But I do smoke in the garage still, or outside. So, Kenny Hamlin, former Razorback, I mean, big-time player. For those of you who are old enough to remember, that dude was, I mean, big-time player. Played in the NFL, played for the Cowboys. I think his last stop might have been Baltimore, I think. He has a brand of cigar out, and I have to show this to you guys. Look at this. This is the box right here. It's called the Arrival. It's still wrapped up in plastic, as you can see. I thought about just making like a quick video of unwrapping this, unboxing it, pulling the cigars out, and trying them out. Wasn't going to do it here, obviously. Only problem is there's a little bit of scuff. These boxes are hard to get. Shout out to, and they are not sponsors, but shout out to Open Door Cigars. Can you see that? That's my cutter. Open Door Cigars where I got this. They can't keep these in stock. They're hard to get. And for this size that I wanted, which was the medium-sized cigar, as I call it, it's the only box they had, and it has the scuff. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So, cannot wait to crack these open and smoke them. Smoke them. It's going to be great. So, all right. I hate Mississippi State, says Cadet Hill. Baseball, you really hate Mississippi State. I'm 37. I can't stand Ole Miss. Okay, 40 then, laugh out loud. Yeah, I just think with Texas, like, we haven't – I mean, it's still there. Look, when they come back, when we start playing them every year, yeah, that hate's going to come right back. It's gonna be like it never left. But right now, it's just not the same. Like, we've played them in my lifetime 4 times? 4 times? When you don't interact with their fans, or you're not traveling to their stadium and vice versa, when you don't have as many impactful games, meaningful games, it just kind of, the hate just kind of erodes away. Now, yeah, guys, in their probably mid to late 40s, 50s, 60s, guys that are old enough, guys and gals who are old enough to remember that rivalry for what it was. Yeah, how old was I when we left the SEC? Like 9? Like I said, I had a teacher who would take the color orange out of the Crayola boxes. She would. She'd take orange out of the Crayola boxes. Like, I get it. As a kid around here, there's a deep hatred. 38 tomorrow, but man, I'm going to say Bama. Oh, well, happy birthday, Scott Swindle. I just really hate Mississippi State cowbells, right? I didn't know we played last night. Crazy. Come on, man. That was a huge game. Great game. How is Mississippi State favored over Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl? Yeah, that is going to be one I want to watch. If I get an opportunity, I think we're going to be kind of busy, but I want to watch that. Wait, when do they play? Is the Egg Bowl Friday or is it Saturday? They might act like a dog, and I don't know who you're talking. I don't know if I consider Missouri. I don't. But they definitely succeed in getting me to despise them. Yeah, their fans do a really good job. Is it Thursday? The Egg Bowl is Thursday. Okay. For some reason I thought it was Saturday or Friday. Michigan-Ohio State game is going to be good. It is. But I'd still take Ohio State. I mean, they're just their offense. Oh, my God. They might. I don't know. Early on in the year, I thought, how the hell are they ranked as high as they are? And then as the year went on, they got better. At least looking at them. I had a teacher at ASU that would kick you out of the class for wearing Arkansas gear. That's a shitty teacher, if you ask me. Really quick, too, I forgot about this. We do have some practice notes, and we had a position change. This was something I wanted to get out of the way before we got into basketball. Treylon Burks this week was the only player in green. He did participate in drills. I think he had a brace or something on his left leg, but he did participate. But he was somewhat limited, it sounds like. In the position change, this is interesting because this is a player that I really thought when he signed, like, this is a big-time DB. Devin Bush was seen going through drills with the safeties when they split everybody up in the secondary, and he lined up at safety during fastball not long ago. And I didn't know this. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. He lined up at safety. I didn't catch that. This week he was seen going through drills again with the safeties. Again, this was a kid highly rated at corner, highly rated 4-star. So Devin Bush, and remember, he was in the transfer portal. Maybe this was part of keeping him happy, finding a way to get him on the field. Is this speaking more to their issues there behind, you look at Simeon Blair, a guy who's also someone who deserves a little bit of criticism over the last couple of weeks. Is this a response to maybe they just want to build that position up for the future? I don't know. But I just saw this. This just came across my screen. A buddy of mine DM'd it to me. And then after seeing that, I confirmed it with someone in the media. He was definitely seen working with the safeties. So, yeah, that's interesting. Do they end up putting him there, or is this just another case of what we saw with Slusher, what we saw with Ladarius Bishop, moving those guys around like they did, not giving them really an opportunity to build and develop at one position? You kind of get it. You understand it, especially with some of the injuries in the secondary, but that was something that when I read that, I was a little surprised. Okay, Arkansas, Kings of KC, baby. Kings of KC, they win the tournament. Unbelievable, especially when you consider they were battling the cold. Good for these guys. Good for them. They went primarily, when you talk about minutes, they went primarily with about a 6-man rotation. Jay Will, I think this is his average minutes, about 35. Tony at 37. JD Note. Now, maybe this is last night. I'm not sure if this is average over the last 2 games or if this was last night. But it's 39 minutes to JD Note. They never pulled JD Note. I don't think in either game, outside of maybe sitting for, I don't know, in between fouls, I think he might have set. Likes ended up with, this had to be last night, 31 minutes. Devo Davis with 25. Vanover with 17. Yeah, that's last night's. But I'm pretty sure those averages are about the same, and they really only you saw extra guys play, but anyone really above like 7 or 8 minutes, it was only about 6 or 7 players in that rotation. Back-to-back nights. That's impressive. That has you, that's where you got to feel like, especially when you consider who they played against. I don't think K-State's terrible. I don't know if they're really that good or not. They did a great job adjusting and playing better in the second half. K-State did against Arkansas, but Hawes had a huge lead in that game in the first half. Started missing some shots, taking a lot of dribble, shoot, junk shots. Allowed K-State to come back into the game and make it a game after after finding different ways to score and doing what they needed to do, and they did it. And they did a good job. They found their way back into the game. But I would fault mostly Arkansas for that more than K-State, but they did make some good adjustments. You fast forward to Cincinnati, it felt to me like Arkansas was going to pull away in that first half. I think the largest lead was either 6 or 8 points, but it felt like Arkansas was going to start to pull away, and Cincy managed to fight their way back. When you consider all this, considering all this, plus they had the cold. Now, I don't know how severe. We're not talking about the flu, obviously, but it's difficult to do anything when you've got a head cold. A lot of you can attest to that. Everyone should be able to attest to that. It's hard to do anything when you have a head cold, and for these guys to find a way to win both these games, just great, just wonderful. And it was already a pretty damn good performance, especially when you talk about Tony, when you talk about Jay Will and his willingness to move the ball around and how unselfish he is. He's like a point guard. He's like a point guard playing the 5 position, or a 5 guy playing as a point guard down low. He's just a commander down low. Him and Vanover. Vanover's barking out orders. I talked about that yesterday or last night. So that's impressive. I think a lot of what I said last night, and I was critical of a couple of guys, Likes and JD Note, I think it still applies, but it at least explains much of what we saw from those guys last night. It also didn't prevent, you talking about these guys having the head colds, it didn't prevent the rest of the guys doing from what they needed to do to get the wins. I'm just saying that. It's not like the cold told them to dribble, shoot down the floor. But again, it still kind of explains a little bit of what we saw. They started 0 for 10 at three-point range last night. They were horrible at 3 point out at the perimeter. They were horrible. Not sure what the deal is in these two games. I have it written out here. Shooting from outside, talking about shooting from outside against K-State, they were 3 of 22, putting them right at 13%. And last night against Cincy, the Hogs also only knocked down threes. They hit 6 field goals total, but they missed 22 in the first game and 17 in the second. So they're 3 of 17 in game 2. So putting them at 17%. Meanwhile, and people are talking about the rims at KC. Okay, Cincy's shot north of 33%. So I don't know that I'm buying that. I think Arkansas was just really cold outside. And that's even better to see that they were so bad and they still found a way to win despite being terrible out at the perimeter. This game last night had a huge March Madness feel to it. I know you guys probably agree with that, but it had it felt like March Madness. It really was. It had a great, these are two tournament teams. JD Note had 2 big-time threes. When he finally did knock them down, he had 2 big-time threes in the second half. According to Mush, Jalen Williams took 4 charges along with his assist down low. He's playing like a true defensive monster underneath. The Hogs will need him big time this year going forward. Make no mistake about it, despite being ill, questionable shot selection through these 2 games, the Bricks, this team looks like a true deep run tournament team at the moment. Impressed with them so far, all things considered. Defense carried in both these games in KC. Defense carried them, which is also a great sign. Tony has become a household name in the state of Arkansas, and rightfully so. Tony has been incredible. And I don't know that anybody's going to argue with that. Against against Kansas State, he had 27 minutes, 4 of 8 from the floor, 5 of 7 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, a steal, and 13 points. He was your second leading scorer in that game. Then you fast forward to Cincinnati, where he just balled the hell out. Tony with 19 points, 6 offensive rebounds. You had 18 offensive rebounds to their 6, and he was a big part of that with 6 offensive rebounds, 3 defensive. Again, another 9-rebound performance, but then he has an assist, a steal, and 19 points. Imagine if he gets his assist up. Imagine if he and Jalen Williams are getting, between the two of them averaging like 2 or 3 assists. That's another level. Probably won't happen. But imagine if they average 2 to 3 assists along with with the rest of their production this year, primarily coming from Tony. And what I liked about what Cincy's coach said, he said that he's difficult to box out. He's difficult to out-rebound, and you saw him crashing the boards. And they do. Arkansas will send a lot of guys crashing the boards. That's what they're doing this year. You're seeing a lot more of that, and I think they're going to find themselves in possibly some situations where they might be a little bit outgunned in terms of size if they choose to play smaller ball, which we have seen Must do at times this year. But as long as you have Tony on the floor, I feel pretty confident that he's going to be able to crash the boards and get you some second chance shots, and he's still going to do his thing. But he had 6 offensive rebounds to just 3 defensive rebounds. Jalen Williams, who was just 5 points shy of a double-double, 2 steals, 11 rebounds, 5 points. He did turn the ball over 3 times. I forget where he's at on the year, but yeah, you definitely don't want your big turning the ball over that much. But it's also going to happen because there's a lot of slapping going on. There's a lot of, you gain a lot of attention when you're that size, and you're going to have these little guys slapping the ball away, so you're going to turn the ball over down low. But Jalen, I'm just so impressed with those two. And you do not win either one of these games without Jalen Williams and Tony. And we did see Kamari Johnson play a little bit. And, again, he had very limited minutes on the floor but still found a way to be productive. A block and 2 rebounds in just 4 minutes of play. And Wade also had 3 rebounds and a point, being 1 for 2 at the free throw line. I mean, that's, again, 4 minutes. That's 3 rebounds. You're going to take that in a heartbeat. Arkansas was just phenomenal crashing the boards. It was really fun to watch. What up, Ty? Sorry I'm late. Don't ever apologize, you guys. You know that. Van was out there 17 minutes. He was out there for 17 minutes. Scrolling down. Let's see. Cincy will win a lot of games this year. As long as they stay healthy, yeah, they're going to win some games. I agree. I'm glad Arkansas and St. John are both doing well. How is Jalen? How is St. John's doing this year? I haven't kept up. Also, their coach handled adjustments that Muss threw at him the whole game. We beat a good team last night. I'd say I agree, Money Mars. I think you're spot on. Eli Ricks got crystal balled to Bama. Don't tell me that. Oh, man, don't you hit me with that negativity. Oh, Ben, you just crushed a lot of people's dreams, including mine. No. Damn it. Did not want to see that. That's disappointing, but not surprising at all. What's the deal with Vanover sitting so much? Is it his legs, his stamina? What's the deal? Asking because he gets our offense going every time he's out there, and curious why he's not playing more minutes. I think sometimes, you got to remember he is 7'3". When the game gets going, when it's fast-paced, they're going to pull him. I think he is dealing with I want to say not long ago they were talking about him having some knee issues, but I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. When the game gets going fast and he just gets outpaced. He doesn't move. Imagine if you had Imagine if he could play at the pace like Gafford. Remember how great Gafford was and how quickly he moved up and down the floor for being a 5, for being a damn good 5 at Arkansas. God dang, I wish he was here. I wish they had Gafford. Someone like Gafford this year. And don't get me wrong, I love this roster. We just got done talking about Tony and Jalen and all that, but it'd be nice. Someone like Gafford would be he'd be unstoppable with Muss's set, and the same with Bobby Portis. And we didn't play so well a couple of times. We haven't so far this year, and they haven't lost yet. That says a lot about this team. I agree. I want Vanover to get a deal with Waffle House. Owl Shadow is obsessed with Waffle House lately. Let's see. Burks should have gotten a Bass Pro Shop NIL deal. These transfers were number ones on their teams before coming here. Yes, they were. Going to take a little man to bring all that together. I like the combination with likes, I do, but sometimes he just gets real. He's got to learn to move the ball around more. That's been my only complaint so far. But really, I thought he did a good job at Bud Walton of doing that, or a better job. But no, he's been great. Really, he has. I know people were saying last night you're being really hard on him. I just did not like the play I saw from him in KC. I really didn't, him and JD Notte. But again, they played with head colds. Maybe that had an impact on their decision-making skills. Because it didn't on their hustle skills. You saw them playing great defense. But I like both those guys a lot. I really do. But it just, that's not what you want to see. Dribble, shoot. Dribble, drive the lane, not get much. But then again, he did find his way to the free throw line. But, yeah, I do like both those guys a lot. Surprised you haven't talked about how bad the announcers, in particular Mark Adams, were. I've heard worse, but, yeah, they were pretty bad. They were. JD was sick. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Deepest Camo, Maine. We talked about that earlier. The announcer saying, watch your jock straps. Tony is taking it to the rim was by far the weirdest call. I did not hear that. What the hell? I missed that. I did not hear that. That's pretty incredible. All transfers, not just likes. I don't know what you're talking about, Nick. What's up, Ty? What's up, Camo Gang? How you doing? Leslie Byram. I keep calling her Bynum, but it's Byram. The player I'm most impressed with the football this year, besides everyone, is Tyson Morris. He comes up when you need him, right? When you need a big play, he's there. But he's had moments. It's like having two Courtney Fortsons. Courtney Fortson, you guys remember him? That dude was quick, man. I'm not a fan of active coaches. Doing color or play-by-play. It gives you a different, a little bit different point of view. You get to hear things and see things through a coach's eyes. I don't mind it. You got a lot of guys that are former coaches, and I think they do a pretty good job. A lot of former players. That's why they have that job. But, yeah, sometimes they go a little overboard. If Connor gets the ball within 5 feet of the rim, he needs to slam it until he fouls out. I'll tell you what he's got to work on doing. And I've only seen him do it really well. Last year it was a little bit more common. This year we haven't seen it as much. But it's when he gets a rebound, and instead of putting it back up or dishing the ball back out, he takes a bounce. Like, dude, you're 7'3". It takes that ball like a solid minute to reach up back to your hand. So maybe kick the ball out as soon as you have it in your hands, and or put it back up. But don't try to do the pound and slam, because that's not who you are. That's not what you are, you know. So maybe dish the ball back out. But I've only seen him do that maybe once or twice this year, but he did it a little bit last year. And I can remember that being a point of emphasis for people to talk about. Like, why is he doing that? I think KK has the potential to be a really good point for us, but there has to be a reason why Muss isn't playing him. I really don't know. I really don't. So, yeah, Hogs are out rebounding opponents right now, 200 to 162. That's pretty incredible. Next up, you've got Penn. You're going to play Penn coming up. That's an Ivy League school. What is the date on that game? Hang on a second. We'll get it. It's following Tuesday, isn't it? Isn't it next Tuesday? We talked about it last night, but Garth Brooks is going to be playing at Reynolds Stadium on April 23rd at 7 p.m. How about that? That's the most random thing ever, but whatever. Not a country fan, never have been, but I might pay tickets just to go watch that, just to be in the stadium and to check out a concert. That's incredible. Yeah, so you've got Penn coming up November. Okay, so it's Sunday, November 28th. Wow. Okay, I thought it was that Monday. No, it's this Sunday. So they're going to get a few days rest. They're going to take on an Ivy League school. Then you don't have your next game until that following Wednesday against the UCA Bears. And then Saturday, December 4th, against the Little Rock Trojans. So, and you open up. Interesting matchup again, Oklahoma. That's the only game right now, according to the Pro Basketball Index from ESPN. It's the only game you're picked to lose. And that's December 11th in Tulsa at the Box Center. I mean, they're going to have home crowd, no doubt about it. It's going to be at 12:30. But I don't know, Hog fans, I mean, they were loud last night, and Tulsa's only an hour and 30 minutes from Fayetteville. So it might be 50-50. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of Hog fans in Tulsa, too. A lot of Hog fans. So Deepest Camo Main says, just watch the replay. I got a little teary-eyed at the end. Woo pick. What are you talking about? You talking about Dick Vitale? If so, yeah, it is. I don't know how anybody. I mean, it's just good to see him back. You know, Penn State, Ivy League. Well, it's not Penn State. It's Penn. Let's kick them in their smarty pants. Let's do that. I'm all for it. KJ has impressed me the most. Way better throwing the ball than I thought he was. Yeah, he's been impressive. All right. I do appreciate you guys. We'll be back Friday. I hope you guys have a great, happy Thanksgiving, surrounded by loved ones, watching some football, doing your thing, hanging out with family and friends. I do appreciate you guys. I really do. You come through, you share the content, you do all that stuff. By the way, if you haven't liked the stream, please do so. But you guys, the Patreon supporters, sponsors, again, I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. And we'll be back Friday. We're going to do 2 shows on Friday. We're going to be live at 11 o'clock, and then we'll be back with the post game. So I do, again, love you guys. Appreciate you. And, if you haven't joined our Discord, please do so. Come check it out. Kate Dreyer did. She joined, and she's a Patreon supporter. Look at that. She's kicking ass and taking names. Her hogs are doing the same in football and in basketball. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be a Hog fan. I'll see you guys on Friday. Again, 11 o'clock. Be here. Woo pig.